Hi everybody, Peter Wolf here from Azamba Consulting Group. Today we're going to talk about managing receivables effectively with Sage CRM. So a lot of people think of CRM as a tool to manage sales, services, or marketing. It can go beyond that though, and a lot of companies effectively use it to manage receivables. So I want to talk a little bit about that today. First, let's talk about probably how you are doing receivables right now. And so for a lot of companies, the way they run their receivables is they'll have an accounts receivables, aged invoice report, which gives you a list of all your accounts, what kind of outstanding balances they have for how long, by date, etc. And what someone will typically do is print this report, possibly just write notes on the side as they call on Artie, Tony, Winnie here. As you make your calls, you're going to say, hey, what's going on with that bill? And you'll write your notes as far as what they tell you. Is the check may be in the mail, they may be disputing a payment. You might write down notes here. You might put it into a spreadsheet. You might put it into your Outlook calendar. Overall, it's a pretty clunky process and it's easy to miss things. The other thing that happens is your salespeople aren't integrated into this process. So if I'm a salesperson working with AirNet here, or sorry about that, Avnet, I may not know that you just had a collections call with them. And depending on how that call went, you may have upset my customer, Tony, or it may be that Tony's upset us and he owes us some money and he has not paid for a long time. Either way, it's better to have an integrated process, and that's where CRM comes in. So CRM allows you to track these things efficiently and effectively. And let me just show you this. I've logged in as Susan May. She's an AR clerk, and she right now has nothing on her agenda. So what you'd want to do is go pull up the customers, and you can quickly come in here and say, you know what, I want to find everyone with a past due amount greater than 0. And your thresholds may be different. You might say, just pull up everyone with over $1,000. And you might also put in here a days outstanding. So you might get only people over a certain amount of time. Those are very specific details and we could help you sort those out. But for now, in my example, I'm just going to get everyone with greater than $0 amount. So I get back my list of 15 people. These people all owe us money. I'm just going to set up a new task. And that new task is going to be a collection call. And you'll also notice in here there's an AR follow-up, and I'll get to that in a minute. But for now, I'm just going to do they owe us money. Call about their outstanding balance and get a payment. So we're just going to go ahead and put that in here. And from here, I can assign this to myself to make these calls or coworkers. I could assign it to the account managers. So the salespeople sometimes in some businesses will make the calls. But either way, I can assign those to different people. I can also choose how often these calls are made. So I only have 15 calls to make, so I'm just going to put them all on my plate for today. But if you wanted to, you could spread them out throughout a team of people or throughout your own calendar, just to kind of balance out your day and your workload a little bit. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. It's going to create those 15 tasks. And so now what's going to happen is those calls were scheduled for me. So now if I go back to Susan's calendar and look at her calendar, I'm going to see I need to make these calls. And I could have set the date, so you could set the date appropriately depending on the best time of day you find to call people. But what happens now is I can easily work this call list. So I've got this call, I click it, I come in here, it pulls up the customer's record, customer information. If I wanted to, I could go pull up that customer. I could go pull up their past invoices, their orders, current balances, etc. Or I could just come in here and I could just highlight this and say, spoke with Chris. They said the check is in the mail. The ever popular check is in the mail. So I'm going to mark this one as closed because I just finished that task. And I could save and go on to the next task. But before I do that, Chris told me the check is in the mail. So I'm going to create a follow-up task before I forget. I'm going to hit save here. And it immediately goes into a new record for Chris. And I'm going to make this my AR follow-up. Did we receive the check? And if you do these kind of things enough, you could actually automate some of these things. So if there's always certain responses that you're getting, you can make some automation. So it's a lot faster to record these responses, these common responses. I could say in here, he told me on 12/17 that the check was on its way. So I'm going to put this on my calendar for next week, and I'm just going to put this reminder in there. I'm going to hit save, and now I'm going to go on to my next call. And you'll see when I log in next week, I'm going to see that follow-up call there for did we receive the check. So it's a really powerful way to stay, to keep organized, to stay on top of these things. Another very interesting thing that happens here is, like, if I go to Chris Sutton's record. So if I'm just an account manager and I'm not aware that my AR clerk is calling on my accounts, I can go pull up my accounts. I go over to the record, and I can see in here there's an AR follow-up. And if I go back and look at all the activities we've had, I can see that Susan made a call on today about the money that they owe us. And this is a really high-level example, but hopefully gave you a good indication of how you can use Sage CRM to effectively manage your receivables process. It gives a great way to get organized and to make sure that everybody on the team is aware of the calls that are being made, who's making them, and the responses that you're receiving. Over time, you could do analytics on these things too, so you can create other automation points. So for example, if Chris Sutton is a notorious promiser of payment and the payments never come through, you could handle their account differently with automations. So hopefully that gives you a good sense for kind of how Sage CRM can help you. And tune into our channel on www.azamba.com/sage for additional information. Thank you.